I wanted to address this video to a user who goes by the screen name that I can't pronounce. I don't even know if it's meant to have a pronunciation or if it's just gobbledygook, but it's Sananda Kokolai. It's the best, closest I can get. But it's about the DC school voucher program. And a lot of people are on there in support of the program, and this particular user is not in support of the program. And you've left me this comment, John E.B. The choice we have in the public school system is the vote. If someone doesn't want to put their kid in a public school, they can send them to private. Well, let's take this sentence by sentence. The problem with the logic is the words. We have to define what some things mean here. What do some things really mean here? What does choice mean? What does accountability mean? So you say the choice we have in the public school system is the vote. Now, I assume you mean that we can go and we can vote for a candidate that supports or does not support a particular program. But you tell me, in what other aspect of your life you would consider the prospect that you could vote for a candidate that would vote for a proposal and either get 100% of what you want or 0% of what you want and call that choice? If you we're going to go buy a car, and people said you could get a Ford Taurus or a Chevrolet Impala, and you had two decisions up for a vote. Or you had every car available on the market up for a vote. And the ones that garnered the most votes, then the entire population would get that car. Would you call that choice? If you looked up and down a house, and you looked at all the different types of houses available, some people like the Victorian style, some people like the ranch style house, some people like, a modern urban or neo-urban type look, or a Gothic architecture on their house. And you took all the options available and you said, we're going to vote, and the type of option that gets the most votes, the type of architecture that gets the most votes, we're going to give everybody in the community that type of house. Would you call that choice? That's what you're asking us to call choice when it comes to schools. There are a million types of schools out there, and you're giving us two options, and you're saying, well, you get to vote for a candidate that supports one or the other, and you're calling that choice. You would not call that same scenario choice in any other aspect. Look at all the doctors out there and all the different mannerisms and bedside manners and specialties and strengths and weaknesses they have in their knowledge, in their personality, in their experience, in their practice. And go to the polls and vote for which doctor, and every single person in the community uses that doctor. Would you call that a choice of doctors? No. So this notion that we have a choice where you have a vote between two options and the entire community is forced to accept the will of the majority, that's a very poor notion of choice. This wouldn't be considered choice in any other aspect of your life. So to say that the choice we have in the public school system is the vote is totally ridiculous if you think about what we typically think of as choice, is a selection among many different options where every different person can select the option that they want that's best for them. Not where everybody goes. See, the big pool is options that goes to the individual, not a big pool of individuals that go and choose one option. See, you've got it opposite. In education, we want to make this opposite. of what it is in every other aspect of our life. So no, the vote is not the choice. The vote is simply the majority forcing their choice upon the rest. If someone doesn't want to put their kid in a public school, you continue, they can send them to a private school. Okay, now that sentence doesn't stop there, but let's stop and consider that. That's a false statement. This would be like saying, well, the government is going to take $5,000 from you. They're going to give you a Chevy Impala in return. Now, if you don't like a Chevy Impala for some reason, you can still take your money and go buy a Ford Taurus. But we're going to take that $5,000 from you and put it towards the Chevy Impala that we've got over there waiting for you. You can go and pick up your Impala, or you can go and buy a Ford Taurus. Now, what kind of choice is that? What kind of option is that to say, well, you can go and put your money in private school, but we're still going to take your money over here? In any other transaction in life, would you allow a certain pool of your money to be put aside for a product that you chose not to use, and then ask to go and pay additional money for that same type of product? Would you expect to buy a shirt and pay for a bland old regular shirt, leave your money at the store and not take the shirt home, and then be told that you could take your shirt money and feel free to go buy other shirts that suit you finer? You'd say, well, I just spent $20 for a shirt over here. Why should I take another $20 over here? Why don't you just give me that $20 and I'll buy whatever shirt I want? So to call that some notion of freedom of choice in education is ridiculous. When you take up a person's entire budget for educational expenses and you put it in one place, the public schools, and then you say, oh, you're free to go do whatever else you want. So the entirety of that sentence reads, if someone doesn't want to put their kid in a public school, they can send them to a private school. But I don't think the state should pay for private schools since we already have public schools. Well, guess what? There's only one problem with that. Public schools came along after the private schools, buddy. Yep. Sorry. Just a little history will catch you up on that. I don't really have to go in that too far. All schools were private until, the people started foisting this idea of public education, that it was better for everybody to go in at once and pay for the group to educate their children. No, private schools were way ahead. But I'll grant you your proposition. You don't think the state should pay for private schools since we already have public schools? Well, are you wanting to have two different sets of criteria for high school and for college? Because we have plenty of private higher learning institutions that receive state money. Harvard, you want to do away with Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, all private universities that can receive public money. Every single private school in the country can receive public money through the Pell Grants and Stafford loans and everything else. So why do you want to apply this, apply this standard to the high school and elementary education only? Why not be consistent and eliminate Yale and Harvard and all that from receiving public money? No. Public money goes to public money goes to private institutions now. You're not even maintaining a consistent logic here. I've got another video to finish up responding to your comment.